welcome back once again to the Lancescurv show. We are live, and this is a last-minute broadcast that we are going to experience, and it's a wonderful, caring, compassionate young lady who experienced something today that she wanted to share. Now, I'm going to have her introduce herself, and we're going to talk about this situation, then we're going to pull the scope back and talk about the broader situation which is happening worldwide, globally, okay? Child neglect. Now, this incident happened in Accra, Ghana, but it's all over the world. And this is something that shouldn't be. Hence the title, Mommy, I'm Hungry and Didn't Ask to Be Here. My dear sister, you're on live. We're hearing you. I'm seeing you, but we're hearing you, and I want you to come on in. And I want you to introduce yourself and let's talk about what you experienced earlier today. Welcome on into the show.
Okay, good evening and welcome everyone who is listening to us. Is my voice clear, Lance?
Yes, just hold the phone close to your face so we can get the good sound.
Okay, okay. Is it okay now?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, so I will withhold my name for now, but you can call me Zax. That's my other name. You can call me Zax.
Exactly.
So what happened is we've always talked about this. We've always it's like bring it up to discussion like almost all the time. But then today it happened just in front of me, and I was there, and then I felt it, and I feel like I have to talk about it. So what happened was there is this girl, let's say she's like 15, 16, 17, I'm not sure of the age,
Mm-hmm.
but she should be in high school. So I just came back from work, and then I realized she was sobbing, like she's crying or something. So I heard people asking, "What will you eat? What's the problem?" And she said she's hungry. And I felt so bad because I felt so bad. So I just had to come into my room because I don't have any food with me. I took out some money, gave it out to a certain girl to buy her food, and then
Right.
I came back. I came back into the room and I felt so bad. I felt so bad because myself, I never wish to experience something of that sort, hunger. And I wouldn't want someone to experience it. And then I'm seeing it in front of me, just within my environment, in my compound.
Yes.
So I felt so bad about it. And that's the reason I had to come out and I was like, okay, let's talk about it because these things, they happen all the time. This girl, she's so small. I can't say she has to go out there to look for a job to do or whatever. She's a very little girl.
Yes.
And the responsibilities are to be held by the mom or the dad. But then they are not there for her. She's hungry. It was around 4 p.m. And
Yes.
since morning, she hasn't eaten. Could you imagine?
I know.
And
I know.
in Accra, it's not like in the village whereby you could walk to the stream, you could walk to the borehole and just pump out some water and drink. In Accra, even if you want to drink water from the tap, you have to pay for it. So imagine how will she be able to get even water to drink throughout that day, like throughout today, aside being hungry.
That's
So this is what happened today, and I decided to let us talk about it.
yes. So, this is the thing. There's so much food out here in the crowd. There's so much
Mm-hmm,
food in America, in the major cities and other cities, smaller cities. There's so much food
mm-hmm,
all over the place.
mm-hmm,
95% of the places that we live in, it shouldn't be a problem. unless it's a war-torn nation, a place that's so impoverished. But for the most part, you have people selling food on the streets in abundance. I know in America, I can only really vouch for New York City and Orlando and different places that I've lived, and I'm quite sure other places I've visited, that you have restaurants that throw away food, good food. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, you can't keep a lot of stuff overnight because that'll go against health regulations. But there's food thrown away at the same time. There's hunger, and not to get too political, but especially in America, who gives away aid to so many other countries, yet you still have hungry children, hungry mothers, hungry families, hungry veterans. You see what I mean? Like, why are there so many hungry people and money's given out? And in a place like Ghana, here, where it's my adopted home, there's so much soil, there's so much vegetation, there's so much. Why should a child go hungry? And why can't we have it where a child that is truly hungry can't go to a food stand and say, hey, and maybe have some subsidies go to those food stands in a monitored way where they say so much of what you make, you can give it to the children. Why not?
Mm-hmm. So me looking at it this way, most of the time I don't blame the government. I don't blame the authorities.
Right.
Sometimes they try to do their best, but we, the individual, keep on making the work very hard for them. Imagine the incident that happened today. The girl's mom has 4 kids, different fathers,
Mm,
different fathers. So if she had stopped at one, okay, one was a mistake. The second one has come. She stopped from there. The
right.
third and the fourth wouldn't come. But then they felt like, oh, there might be help out there. So even
See?
if I give birth like 6 or 7, maybe the government will look up to me. And we have to have it in mind that there are also a lot out there who also have the same mindset. So it's not possible that the government will be able to look like to reach out to everybody out here. It's not possible because the government also has a lot to do.
You're right.
Okay, let's see, there is this popular hotel, the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, just
Yes.
by the beach side in Accra.
Hmm.
So I don't know if it has changed or is the same thing. I've worked there as a security guard
Hmm.
in the year 2016. Yes, in the year 2016 when I was like I was 17, 18 years by then.
Right.
So anytime the day ends, any food that is left, they don't use it the following day. They throw everything to the dustbin. And their reason of not giving it out to the people outside is health issues. Maybe
Right.
they give it out, somebody eats, and then there is a problem. The person has an allergy or something like that, and it will bring problem back to them. That is their mentality. But then it would have been a very like the best way to just give the food out to the streets every day when they close from work. But is for them to at least they value their reputation that they wouldn't want any problem from anywhere. That's always the reason they have to throw all the food away. And I learned they used to do it, but then it was getting obvious that every night you see a lot of crowd at the
Yes.
entrances, at the gate, waiting and hoping that there will be food to be given to them. So most of them take advantage of that. They don't even try to do something for themselves because they know at the end of the day, there is free food somewhere waiting for them to be eaten.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. And then I don't blame the government in the other hand, because mostly we the ladies, I blame men though, but we the ladies, I know right now I am not ready.
Right.
It's not that I am not ready. The life that I'm living, this is not the life that I wanted to live. So, okay, this is not the life I want to live. So why will I just rush to bring another person? Knowing very well the life that I'm living, I'm struggling. I'm trying to make it better. It's not yet better, but then I am already thinking of adding another person. When you try to make it sound this way, they kind of think or conclude that you are a kind of person who just you don't know what is life. You think your parents don't know what they were doing when they gave birth to you. It's like you are kind of trying to insult your parents or something like that. But if everybody should have this mentality that life is not all about having kids,
Right.
it's not all about giving birth, taking care of, that's another job on its own. It's
Exactly.
more like a liability. So if you are, for example, I am working, I am taking home, let's say at least 1,000 cedis a month.
Hmm.
My rent is from there, my light bill, my water bill, all the bills are from this. And then all of a sudden, you're like, I am coming to bear kids. And the kids will have to also be part of this 1,000 cedis you are taking every month.
That's right.
So imagine the kind of risks you are putting this child into, who didn't even ask you to bring him or her onto this earth. But because of the, how do I call it? Because of, you feel if you don't do it, people will talk about it. If you don't give birth, they will talk about it. They will tell you you are growing old. Maybe you are having a lot of abortions. Maybe you
But
have problems with your womb and a whole lot. You feel so insecure about yourself. So you feel like, oh, let me do it as they are doing it.
I see that.
But
I
then,
see that here.
mhm,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm
Mhm.
listening.
Oh no, this is happening all over the world,
Hmm.
but here in Ghana, from what I understand, it's it's a lot of pressure on a young lady to have children, the
Children.
earlier the better. I mean, I read this several places. I talked to many people. So culturally, right? It, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's a pressure for that, but there's no solutions that once this young lady has a bunch of children, because I've seen young ladies 19, 20 years old with 4 and 5 children. And I'm seeing
Some are
them
even,
say it again.
some are even 14, 15.
I see that. And these are not 14 or 15-year-old boys impregnating these women. These are grown men, 40s,
Mm-hmm.
50s, and 60s. And where are they to take care of the child when the child comes into the world? Yet many of these men will swear they're upright, religious, and, but it's crazy. And they will give money to some of these young ladies and they don't see the long term. How are you
Mm-hmm.
going to take care of them? And then you see, which from what I understand, a lot of who you see begging from around the Accra Mall or Medina Market, they're not from Ghana, but their
No, most of
parents
them.
decide and watch them beg. And they're not even really hungry for what I can see, right? But when you see a child who's truly hungry and all alone, like we said, they didn't ask to be here. And
Mm-hmm.
like it was mentioned in the chat room, it's lust that causes a lot of people to just go ahead because in that moment things feel so good. And there's a lot of escapism where they're living a life in pain because they can't support themselves, and sex becomes the ultimate high, an escape that they can do instead of holding back or doing some kind of other activity and concerning themselves with being financially stable, which it is tough here as it is tough many places. I mean, you got to pay for the rest of your life for something that you did that took a few moments for a feel-good moment. And that is so foolish to me. So we're going to charge the parents with that. So if you had to speak to them, talk to the parents and don't hold back.
I wish there are laws that will hold parents accountable for making these kids go through this kind of stuff. But it seems Ghana, this kind of law is not working. The law is not working. And mostly the fathers to these kids. Because some of the fathers will be like, okay, it is the fault of the mom, so I wouldn't be part of the child's life. And you are punishing the child, not the mom. Can you hear me, Lance?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes. And you are punishing the child because the mom wouldn't have any negative benefit from it. It's the kid that is going to suffer the consequence.
Right.
And in Accra here, northern side is totally different. Where I am coming from, things like this barely happen. It barely happens.
Mm-hmm.
But in Accra here, you see most of the women having kids like 3, 4, 5, and even 6, and still not being married. And they
Exactly.
are the only main survivor. They are the only main person that the children look up to. And the most sad part is if the children are girls, that is the most dangerous part, because the moment they
Uh-huh.
turn 10, 11, the moment they start to have small breasts, then it becomes very worse. Because that's the
Yeah.
time the mom don't even have time for them. I do see stuffs like this. The mom or the parent don't even have time for them. They end up at the age of 10, 11, 12, they end up being harassed, being lured, and being lied to, and they get themselves involved in things that I don't even want to talk about. And this is not because they want to.
Right.
This is not the life they choose to live, but it's the situation. For instance, this girl, the case that happened today, if she had seen, or if any man had come across her and had promised that I am going to do this for you, this girl would have fallen victim at that moment because she needed it. And she will do anything. And this is not something that is going to benefit her in her life. It's just for a day. She's hungry, just for a moment. And this may cause her for a lifetime, because someone being able to lure her into something else just because she's hungry could cause her for a whole lifetime. And this is what parents here don't take seriously at all. They don't even care about it. The moment the child is 10, 11, they feel like, oh, you are grown, you can do it by yourself. When I was like you, I was doing it by myself, so could you. But then when you were like them, maybe your mom did a mistake and brought you up, and you are
Mm.
repeating the same mistake on them.
Yes.
And this is how it's going to be going on and on and on, and we don't know when it's going to stop.
Perpetual cycle.
Mm-hmm. This is
And
the
you know,
problem. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
you mentioned the unthinkable, which We have to say it. Prostitution, um, sex trafficking, forced
Mhm.
prostitution. Not anything that she sees that, okay, I'm going to do this, but somebody seeing how vulnerable she is and snatching her up and having their
Mhm.
way with her. I have to say that a lot of
Mhm.
times those in America, and it's bad in America. And I just have to say this: many people think America is so great and holy, and they do have laws against certain things, but the law itself is not going to do what the eyes of the people can do and the concern of the people. Lots of times, people just don't care as long as it's not their children. Now, here in Ghana, there's no child support laws, right? So
No,
if you
at all.
have a father who impregnates this woman, now he becomes a father, he can walk away.
Just
There's
like
no,
that.
yeah, just like that. You can do that here. And that makes for, with the cultural pressure of having to have children before, long before 30, 25, the younger the better. You combine those two things, and so it's okay. And so these young guys and older guys see young girls as prey because they may need some money for something. Now, I have to say, I've been approached by young ladies, and I'm not demonizing them, but out of necessity, they will flirt with you in a certain way to let you know that certain things can happen. And no, I'm not saying they come out like predators, but those who get caught up in that vicious cycle out of necessity, some have made up their mind to say, well, you know what? This is what they want. As long as they pay me, I'll do it. And they don't understand the damage that they're doing to themselves. And so,
Mhm.
because there's no laws on this, and especially from what I see, the underage girls are really preyed upon more because there's no accountability for you doing something like that. How are you going to be a 60-year-old man and want to lay up with a 12 or 13 or 14-year-old girl, regardless as to the fact that maybe she decided, well, this is the only way I can make money? How can you feel as a man that you're
Mhm.
going to lust after a twisted lust? How can you lust after a child? And I see that here. I see the men who look so holy. I know by the way they dress, they've come out of a house of worship. And you see them sometimes at the Medina market and they're looking real sneaky now, but you can see it because I don't miss anything. And
Mhm.
this is what's in their heart. And this is something that is going to be very tough here to get rid of because of the hypocrisy of the grown-ups who are around, who see an opportunity for something wayward because the child is hungry. And there are no laws to stop it. And tourists come here for the same thing. They find themselves in maybe the poorer neighborhoods. Like you said, where you are, that's non existent because it's a little much better neighborhood. But when you go on the old stomping grounds where things are known undercover, you ask around as a tourist and they tell you and point you out for a few CDs, these things are going on. And it's in many countries here in the motherland and beyond, but there's no repercussions for it. Sorry to talk so long, sweetheart, but go ahead.
Mhm. That's okay. That's okay. So this what is happening now. So you kind of see most young ladies, they meet a man today, they will be like, okay, I want to trap this man down. Before you realize, they get pregnant for this kind of guy. And sometimes the guys wouldn't even be aware. The guys will just be like, okay, I'm doing it for fun's sake. I'm doing it for pleasure. But then the lady will be having it behind of her mind that if I trap him with pregnancy, he's going to marry me. He's going to take care of me.
Yeah, speak on that.
Mm-hmm. Forgetting that you don't have to wait for someone to take care of you. What if the person agrees and after giving birth, the person passes away? What happens?
There you go.
They don't think about it that way. They always feel, okay, when I get pregnant for him, Maybe my rent, my bills will be reduced, and my kids may have a good life. What if he neglects you after giving birth? And these are some of the reasons why these kids are going through hell in here. These are
Yes.
some of the reasons. It's because of the last of we ladies. We don't want to work our ass out. Sorry to use that word. We don't
Well, you
want
can
to
say,
work.
yeah.
We want it the very easy way. And easy way is the only way that you have to open your legs. And that is also the most dangerous way. It's either you get pregnant or either you contract a disease,
There you go.
which is
That's another thing.
uncurable. Mhm. So most of these ladies, they do this and then they put the kids' life at risk. They put their lives at risk. And at the end, these same men will take advantage of these same kids. The men that took advantage of their parents will still take advantage of their children.
Yep.
So I always pray. That's why I just hold on to myself. The village that I'm coming from the north. Anytime I travel back to the north, sometimes I don't go out for a week. Do you know why I feel very bad? I feel pity for my colleagues, for my younger sisters out there. You will see a child of 14 years carrying a child of her own
Mm.
without having any handy job, without even completing a high school. In Ghana, we have primary school, we have the junior high, the senior high, before even the college, that is the university level. So even the second grade, they wouldn't even finish. And they are already
Right.
having two children. I have some in my house. At first, when I travel and I get home, their parents try to compare, like they will try to make you feel bad. When are you getting married? When are you having children? And my reply will be, if you are ready to pay my bills, I will give birth. Yes.
Right.
And it sounds disrespecting, but then I'm trying to tell them something. If you are ready to pay my bills that I am even paying now, I am ready to bear them. But if you can't help me out now, don't ask me when I am having them because you are not going to care for them for me.
That's right.
So out there, they see it to be a normal thing that a child of 15 years is getting married, is having kids, is living her life, is throwing her life away, trashing her life just to cater for another life that she's not even doing it well. She can't even do it. Like she can't do it. She's trying, but she don't even know how to do it.
Don't even know how. Somebody the teacher.
She, she don't know how to do it because it comes as it's unexpected, and they do it because others are doing it. That's the problem. Some also do it because of the pressure from the family. Your colleagues are getting married, your colleagues are having kids, you also have to. And they forget that they are children. They forget that she has a life to live and she must accomplish that. She hasn't even started, but then they are thinking of the next generation, which is not
Yes.
even born yet. So
Yep.
this is what happens here, and then it's a whole lot. And Ghana, I'm not sure it will ever work out because the way I'm seeing things, it keep on repeating itself every day. Keep on repeating. Nobody is talking about it. You see a whole lot of children when you go to Usu right now. It's 10 p.m. When you go to Osu right now, you see the children on the street trying to hold your hands, beg stuffs. And most of the children in Osu, this Accra Mall you're talking about, most
Yes.
of them are not Ghanaians.
Yes.
Most of them are from Niger. We are all Africa. We are all one, but they are not from Ghana. They are from different country.
Right.
Niger, Uganda, Togo, Mali, and all that. What they
Hmm.
do is, this is the secret. What they do is, the parents, the grown-ups, you see them sitting at a spot far away from where the kids
Yes.
are. These parents go to their country. It's like they go to buy, it's still as slavery. They go to buy these kids from their country to bring them here
Hmm.
for the kids to beg for them. And at the end, they will either send the kids back with some kind of, reward. That's what they do. So you see them here begging, they are not suffering. Anytime I try to make this statement, people will say I am heartless. I am never heartless. But these kids you see at Osu, Medina,
Yep.
mostly at crowded areas and residential areas, these kids are not suffering. They are being trafficked. Can you hear me well?
Yes. Loud and clear, sweetheart.
They are being trafficked. Some of them is either the grown-ups who brought them here. They took these children from their sisters, claiming they live here. So they want to bring the children here to care for them. And then they
Hmm.
come and then they make these children to beg on the streets. So what you do is, if you watch, if you monitor them very well, you will notice always wherever these kids are, there are these grown-ups parents. It's either they are men or women sitting at a particular place. The children will beg the money, and then after every 3 or 4 people that they get from, they go and give the money to the parents. Then they come back again to
Yes.
continue begging. So you will notice that almost every day you will meet the same kid at the same spot.
I see it all the time.
So yes, you see them at the same spot, or almost all the time you meet the same person. The children are not suffering, they are being trafficked to do that job. So when you see the children, you feel bad for them. You give them something, they go, they give it to their parents. Not actually their parents, but the traffickers.
Right.
And then government sees this, they don't talk about it. The leader sees this, they don't talk about it. Almost everybody sees this, they don't talk about it. So that's why anytime I see one, I just ignore. I remembered when I was walking on the footbridge, I was holding my ice cream one day, and a certain girl ran to me, Auntie, can you give me your ice cream? And I told him, no, I can't, because I just used my last money to buy the ice cream because I wanted it. So I can't give it to you.
Right.
I said that to her because I know why. I could have just got her another one. But when you give, even the ice cream, if you give it to her, she will take it to the mother.
That's crazy.
Yes, and that's what they do. I've worked in Osu on the Oxford Street for almost a year. I used to sell fruit juices and stuffs on the street in front of KFC on the Oxford Street, Osu. And this is what they always do. And nobody is talking about it. And when you try to say something, they look at you to be the bad person. Meanwhile,
Mm.
nobody has ever sat or put the eyes down to look up onto it. So it seems Ghana is becoming like we always say unbecoming, that everything is just happening the way people want it to, not the way it's planned. We are just diverting everything.
I see.
You
I
see,
was.
oh,
Mhm.
okay. So you see Almost everybody, almost a lot of people are trying to be like this foundation, they are creating a whole lot of foundation. Why are they doing so? Most of them are genuine. Most of them know very well there is a lot of profit or a lot of gains out of this. Because one, if I get up tomorrow and I prepared 2 bags of rice, I can use it to serve like 100 packs. Just rice with some oil and then some kind of small spices on it. I'll go
Yes,
up to the streets, go out to the streets, share it to the street kids. People will see, they will start donating.
that's right.
We are helping you to help the streets. You are not helping the street that way. Make sure you go straight to the government or walk straight to these kids on the street. Be on them. Let them take you to their parents. Whatever you can do, take it on from there. But if you keep on being like you are sending monies to people, like mostly those people that do the foundation, I don't know how they call it. Lance, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Oh no, most definitely. And even in that, there's a lot of things that I've found out. Just want to say it for 1 minute. You ever
Mm-hmm,
on a church road when you go around Medina or a little bit above Medina and you
mm-hmm.
see someone walking with a small poster of a child with a really large head, or they have
Yes,
swords, you know, and they're
yes,
there.
yes.
Well, from what I'm hearing, I can't say exactly, but I'm hearing this from different places. As you know, I like to talk to different people that they set up these things where they have the speakers, where I'm talking about the speakers, like a preacher on the street with a microphone talking loud, and they'll have these
Mm,
pictures, these deformed children, malnourished and deformed, and they're walking up and down by the red light. And they go to the
mo-
chochos, to the vans, commuter vans, and they hold these
yes.
signs up and they try to get people to donate money. But what I'm hearing is
Mm-hmm,
that that's part of a scam where they have these stations set up all over these same similar areas, right? Because you just can't go out there anywhere and do it. So they do this stuff and collect the money, and the money does not go to any children at all. But they play
mm-hmm,
on your sympathy if you don't know. And also, like you said, with the little girls that, little boys that go out there and hold their hand to the mouth, and they look
mm-hmm,
very dirty because that's part of the look that they have to pull on your heartstrings. And you say, oh,
mm-hmm,
this child is hungry. You know, now there are hungry children out there, granted, but the
mm-hmm,
ones that are not hungry, that really, when there's nobody stopping by the red light, they're running around playing, they have energy. And the parents or the mother sitting there fat as can be, and it's like she kicks out a kid every single year. Again, there are those who need help. There are those who unfortunately fell into certain conditions. I'm not speaking about those because I have sympathy for them. But it has also turned into a hustle. And what you're speaking about, I'm so glad that you're speaking about it because many people, and I have to say, many Ghanaians are not going to talk about it like this. You know, you have to put
mm-hmm.
these things out there. You see, because I see it every day.
That's the sad truth. That's the sad truth. Most people that do the good things, they don't even show up. You don't see them taking pictures. You
Right.
don't see them telling people what they do. You only hear from the receiver side coming out to tell what this kind of person has done for me. But those who are into this act, you will see them with their cameras whilst
Yeah.
donating, whilst distributing or helping. You see them with their cameras to capture what they are doing so that they'll be able to attract more donors. So at the end, those who even need the help, those who really need the help don't get it.
Yes.
That's the issue. Like, for instance, today's case, she actually needed the help. I am very sure there were people who got food in their rooms. I am sure.
Of course. Of course.
But but nobody was ready to give. And this is the situation that she really needed it. But then those that don't need it, that's where you see them with their cameras. They will even make you aware. They will make you aware that on this day there is a donation here that we
Yes.
are going to. Then you'll be on them. You'll be always trying to monitor, to watch what they are doing. Then you feel, oh, they are doing the right thing. Let me sponsor, let me do this. You are not helping the needy. You are helping the one who is trying to help the needy. So going back to the bearing of the children side,
Hmm.
I always talk with my friends and I tell them, if you know you can make your child to live the life that you dream to live, don't even think about it. Don't even think of getting pregnant, because your dream life, you are not living that. And most of us Ghanaians, we believe that, mostly from the north. When you give birth to a child, the child will come and take care of you. And it's never supposed to be that way.
Right.
How on earth will I want to give birth to a child and be poor for my child to become rich in 40 years time to come, to take care of me at my old age? What am I doing now?
Wow.
And that's the mentality of most people, mostly from the north. They feel, oh, I give birth to like two children, three or more. When I am old, they'll be able to take care of me. Why don't you make your life better now to be able to take care of them very well at the foundation?
It's a foundation.
Mhm.
That's right.
Make the foundation very strong for them. Not when, for instance, myself, it's not everyone who has a strong heart. Many people will fall back when they are trying to use the journey that we are going through. Because if you are not strong, mostly as a lady, mainly as a lady, it will be very hard for you.
You're so right.
If you are, if you are coming from a family, no auntie, no uncle, no one to look up to, no one to even think of calling, maybe when you are in a serious problem and you are not strong enough, you will always fall a victim for whatsoever problem that is coming your way. And mostly the ladies. Men, it's okay sometimes. A man will never get pregnant. If you know that, if you know as a man, life is getting hard for you, you will just learn to close your legs. If you should go to open your legs for someone for money, it means the person has money. You get it? It's a woman that got money that is going to buy you. But the
Hmm.
lady side, if the man will buy you at the end, if you are not careful, you are going to carry pregnancy. And
Yeah.
this man will never accept you because the gap is way too big. He will
Wow.
pay you for just maybe one night. And maybe you don't even know this person. It's just the first time.
Right.
And then after 2 months, you realize that is there. What do you do? So if you are not strong, if you are not strict with yourself, you are always going to be falling a victim every time. So
That's,
sometimes I look at, are you going to say something, Lance?
that's truth. That's truth. Keep it going. This is good stuff.
Mhm. So I always, there are ladies that I feel bad to, there are others I don't because they intentionally. There are ladies like myself, if I hadn't been strong enough, I would have been bearing like 4 or 5 children. I always tell myself,
Hmm.
but the issue is I know what is in front of me. I know what is beyond, and I have a vision, and my mission is to make it work, to make it possible, and to make the others that don't believe to believe that it's always going to be possible, no matter how hard it is. And the most important thing is I will always have to remember where I am coming from, because if I don't have that in head, I'll never make a progress.
Exactly.
But the issue is most ladies don't have the patience to wait. Most ladies don't have. We want it the fastest way, and it will always end as the shortest way. You
Hmm.
end up, okay, you've seen a man having a luxurious car, having a house, and all that. All of a sudden, you're falling for the person. He doesn't want you, he just needs something for you for just one time. And when he gets it, he's gone for real. He will never look back. I read a story today on Facebook about a man. He said he owned a 6 bedroom house in
Mm.
Tama near the house. And then he had this friend. They've always been talking. They are just friends. But then on Christmas Eve, this girl asked the man for a gift. And the man was, okay, come to my house for the gift. And that was the first time this lady went to the man's house. End of story. This lady ended up sleeping in this man's house. And whatever happened, it has happened. This lady
Mm.
left the following day and is always on this man's neck. I want to come to your house. Can I come and do cleaning? Can I come and cook for you? Can I come and do this? It's not anything. It's because of what she has gone to see there.
Right, right,
And this is not even love for the man or whatsoever. It's because of what she has seen in the house or even the house itself, because she wasn't expecting that the man will owe something like that.
right,
So this man was saying that actually the lady is not his peg. He doesn't have any feeling for the lady. But the issue is he don't know what to do not to hurt the lady's feelings. So I was telling
right.
myself, this lady is going to end up giving herself to this man just because of what she's seeing and the assumption that she has in mind that maybe if I do that, this man will just fall for me. And it doesn't happen that way. And at the end, you see this kind of lady
So true.
being being a single mother, being a single mother one day, then you feel bad for her, thinking, oh, maybe men took advantage of her, something like that. No man has taken advantage of her. It's because of her lust. She's
True.
she's kind of trying to have things that she's not supposed to have, that she hasn't worked for. So I always say there are ladies out there that I will feel pity for. I'm a lady. I've not given birth before, and I will not try to give birth until I am ready to
Beautiful.
make my kid live the life that I wanted to live and I didn't live. But until then, they should be on hold. Yes, they should be on hold until when the life is prepared for them to come.
Question.
Lance?
Do you
Mm.
do you think social media has helped to fan the flames of fantasy or this fantasy life that these men are out here who may be very transparent, not transparent, but it's almost like a facade. That's the word I want to use, a facade, where they may have a nice car. They may have what appears to be a nice house. It might be their uncle's house. It might, everybody's trying to act like they have something more than what they have. And that brings, and a lot of these predatory men are using these things to get the attention of these young ladies who do want a better life without working for it or really waiting their time to work and earn. And these things happen. But do you think social media has a psychological component into causing everybody in this vicious cycle to live an illusion and put out an image that's attractive that ends them up in a really bad situation? Do you think it has an effect?
Social media has both good and bad effects.
Agreed.
So it's up to we, the individuals, to determine which one to follow. You understand?
Yes.
The bad side is me being a lady. I am dark in complexion. Then I take a photo, let's say Instagram, I take a photo edit. I become fair with, I did editing and all that, post it on Instagram, a whole lot of men. Then at the end, the person will meet you in real life, and then it's not you. The person wouldn't even be able to recognize you. Or maybe a man going out there into the beaches, even snapping pictures, doing editing with these luxurious cars and houses. At the
Right.
end, the lady will fall for this man. And even at the end, the man might take this lady to a hotel with some kind of petty excuses. And at the end, you realize this man wasn't the person he was saying he is. And it's gone. But then, to the positive side, at least we are seeing and hearing stories of people who has been through these kind of situations. And if you are a smart person, you should learn from it. That is not everything that you see on there that is always the way it is. I hope you get my point.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Mhm.
Agree with it
Yes.
100%.
So, yes. So you see people trying to act like others on the media, trying to be like, oh, I want to be like this person. I wish. Don't ever wish. Don't ever want to. Always be who you are. Because you don't know whatever cover that person has kept on to look that way. So social media got its bad side and good side. But then as an individual, it depends on the side that you want to follow.
That's right.
There are some people, no matter how long the day is you've taken to tell them that this is how it is, they will never believe you. For their mind is always made up. It has been made up and you can't do anything to change it.
That's so true. Until they learn a
Mm-hmm.
lesson, a hard lesson. You know,
How?
for me, yeah, I've learned through absorbing or just observing and absorbing the culture out here that
Mm-hmm.
many Ghanaians and many people who have moved from other lands to Ghana who may not live in Accra speak about how Accra is, in a sense, it's got more money, it's got more amenities, but many people who live elsewhere in the small villages or small towns, they say how they could never live in Accra. Accra is too fast. Accra, it's got everything bad going on. We know evil is everywhere. But what are your opinions on that? Because there was an article that I read. It was a Ghanaian man who also wrote about the pressures of being a man who, after a time, if he wasn't married, there might not be as much pressure as when the woman has to have children. But if you're not, you're viewed a certain way, like, what's wrong with you? Then they start to think that you might be gay or there's something wrong with you. But he tried to find love in Accra. But because of the
Mm-hmm.
hustle and bustle in the minds of many of the women who looked at him for what he had or didn't have, which I understand that a woman needs to be secured. But at the same time, these women were just a step above a prostitute because it was all about what you have, what you can give them. And still, it didn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that there was going to be a love connection. Explain the differences. And we know that we have young ladies in northern Ghana who fall victim for certain things, but I don't think the mindset is as vicious from what I see in Accra. Could you go in on that a little bit to explain to the people?
Um, if
Mainly
I
how
under
Accra is a different world compared to the rest of Ghana, because people have come to Ghana, to Accra, got a hotel for 2 weeks, went to tourist attractions, and came back with an opinion of Accra or Ghana, thinking that they visited it everywhere. And this Accra is a very intense place. I can handle it because I'm from New York City, but it's a different contrast from where I live up in the mountains. And sometimes I don't even want to go down there because the peace that I have out of the place, it's like, okay, I can handle it, but why? Today I don't want to go. Tomorrow maybe. You know, it's a different place. And the mindset is a different
Mhm.
place. Me being a brony, a foreigner to them, it's like they automatically know you're a multimillionaire. And don't let them see you on social media. They really think that you have millions. Why is it like that? More so here.
Okay, so if I get you right, you'd be like, can you just make the question short for me?
Oh yeah, because I went all over the place with it. The mentality of those in the capital of Ghana, Accra, is
Mm-hmm,
very
mm-hmm,
much dog eat dog. I got to get what I can get. I don't care about the next person. Take, get, hustle, 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 which is okay to righteously hustle, honestly. But why is it
mm-hmm.
so shark infested here in Accra more so than other parts of Ghana that are smaller? There's more tradition, family, culture, um, a creator that they honor. It's different in Accra. It's cutthroat. Explain that. Was it
Mm-hmm.
always that way?
Accra is very small. It's the smallest region in Ghana, but then I guess with the second highest population in Ghana. Accra is just a small part like this, like a tiny part at the coastal land in Ghana. But the reason why you see a lot of crowd here, one, sorry, I'm using that finger. One, competition. Two, it's very easy here to make a lot of money. Three, it's very easy to get a lot of connections and a lot of help. The fourth one is very easy to spend the money that you will make. And this is what people don't think about because we feel, oh, we are making the money a day. Let's say a day you are making 10 Ghana cities, but at the end of the day, you are spending 9 Ghana cities. It's going to be left with 1 Ghana cities. We don't notice that. Am I on the right track?
Yes. Yes, you said it right.
So those Lance, my network is kind of making some style. Can
Oh
you
no,
hear
you're
me
good.
clearly?
Yeah,
My
loud and
my
clear.
video.
Yeah, we hear the sound, but the video might mess up, but we hear the sound.
Okay.
The sound is the most
So
important thing.
so people feel like, oh, coming up here is going to give you a better life. You'll be able to make it. Like myself, I came here when I was 16, and I won't lie, I am making it, and I'm going to make it because I have that kind of belief and faith in my head that one day I'm
Yeah,
going to make it. If I were to be back there, I would have still made it, but it would have been in a different way. And here, I am going to make it, and I am making it, but in the hard way. You get it?
right.
In the hard way because you always got bills to pay, you always have to transport and all that. Each day and its own problems and all that you have to solve it. But then
Yes.
it's going to be possible. But then back in the village, the other side, the population is low, the crowd is low, the settlements there are very less, but jobs there are very hard to get.
Yeah.
Jobs there are hard to get in the sense that the jobs that you can make whilst in where I am coming from, the job you could make that will get you high income is farming, either animal farming or crop farming.
Hmm.
And if you are someone who is not into this, you can withstand it. So you have to find a different way. And different way is for you either to find a job in the cities over there. And the cities over there is nothing compared to the city here. Yes, you can find jobs in the cities over there. You can make money in the cities over there. But
Hmm.
so far as we have this mentality that coming up here, coming down here rather, we are going to make it. It always makes us not value whatever that we are going to get down there. Should I say
Right.
up there? Rather? Yes.
Hmm.
So we always have the mentality up there, even if they pay me this amount of Ghana cedis, I won't be able to make it. But we always think that coming down here, even if the city is less, we are going to make it. Do you know why? Because we have this assumption, we have this perception, rather, we have this perception in our head that maybe one day you just walk onto your favor.
Yeah.
Yes, you just walk onto someone who is going to favor you, who just like you just walk onto a miracle and boom, you are gone.
Right.
We always have the mentality. So that's how this is the reason why it's like this.
Interesting. And this is good for everybody to hear because I hear a lot of people in America, in the US, they say, well, I'm going to come out to Ghana or
Hmm.
whatever country in the motherland they choose. And they say, I'm going to find a job and I'm going to build this
Hmm.
house and everything's going to be all right. Because once I leave America and the stress of America, I'm going to come out there and everything is going to be all right. But people don't realize how many people have come out here and realize that many Ghanaians find it hard to get a job. And they're not going to give you a job as someone who
Hmm.
comes from somewhere else over a Ghanaian. They're not going to do it.
Hmm.
So you have many people who will come on YouTube and talk about the pluses of being in Ghana, which for someone coming out, if they plan carefully, there can be pluses. But you're coming into a place that has a very distressed economy. So if you're going to depend on this economy that's not even serving Ghanaians, many of these people They stay quiet now on YouTube and end up going back because they didn't plan properly. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they had they saw all the videos of Accra. They see the Lamborghinis in Accra, the Rolls Royces, the drop tops. They see the penthouses and the expensive mansions, and they say, "Oh yes, I'm going to come there and I'm going to get a good job, and everything is going to be all right." But they don't understand. You just can't come and not know and think that, well, because you're from America, you're going to run through things. The people here are very smart. And the ones
Mm-hmm.
who are hustling and sometimes struggling are very shrewd and they're slick. And so if you think you're going to come here from America and outthink many people who are hungry for every little thing, which there's an appreciation. Look, if you don't eat and you come home and you see a food that is not your favorite food that you never eat, hunger will drive you to eat that food. You see,
Mm-hmm.
broke after having large sums of money. You remember every coin that dropped between the cushions of that couch or rolled under your bed. You remember to say, "Oh, I remember I have this amount of money that rolled under." And so this is what you're dealing with here. And people think that they can't be finessed, or they think that they have a cockiness about them. "I'm from America. I can come here and rule." When so many
Mm-hmm.
people have come here and couldn't handle it from a lack of planning and went back with their tail between their legs. But on the video, they say how, "Oh, yes, it's heaven. It's this, it's that." Sure is, until the money runs out. See? So these kind of conversations are very important to have. And especially with one who grew up here as a Ghanaian in the northern region and now down here in Accra, you can make the comparisons. But there are a lot of people who have the TikTok fantasy that if they get on TikTok and shake their backside enough, they're nyash,
Mm-hmm.
that everything is going to be all right just because of that. And these men, they'll try you out for a night or two. And you know what? They're going to move on to the next one because these guys don't have anything on their mind 9 times out of 10 because they see how available and how easy it is to wave a handful of money and to get these women in the bedroom, which opens them up to the pregnancy, the
Mm-hmm.
underage young ladies to diseases, and they can only think for that moment. And it's I see it every single day. When I go into a crowd, I'm walking, you could automatically know what the situation is just on sight alone because you've lived life long enough to know what it is. And it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. What's
So
the
sad.
solution? What's the solution? Is there a solution?
There is a solution. If only, from henceforth, if only ladies will learn how to close their legs, our legs, not theirs. I am part of them. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes. So if we ladies learn how to close our legs and get it at the back of our heads that we also have a life to live, that we are working towards something, at least every individual should have a career. You should have a plan. You should have something that you love to do and you want to do it at the best. So if you get something like this, focus on that and leave bearing kids if you are not yet a mom. I will always say there are a lot of kids there that need mothers, that need parents, they need fathers. You can go out there and get one of them, even two or three. The mess has already been caused. It cannot be reversed. It's there. So for us to just let this reduce, if you know you can afford, if you ever doubt that if I bear them, they might look this way, they might be like these kind of kids that are on the streets, then don't even try. Wait till you get it. Wait till you can live the life you want. Get out there, get two or three of them. They will be yours forever. It doesn't matter this disappointment that one day one of them will give you. Yes, I do see and hear about people adopting children, and years to come the kids will end up you know telling the adopted parent that I am not your child and I am living and a whole lot, and it causes a lot of broken hearts.
Yes,
Yes, and all that. But it doesn't matter. Just do it like you are doing it because you want to do it, not someone is convincing you to. And if you take care of that and one day the person goes, at least you've done your best. You've saved a soul from the streets.
exactly.
Yes. But if you feel, no, I want to have my own, and that is where it keeps on piling up. So the only way this thing can be caught, it shouldn't even be from the government. It's from we, the individuals. Stop. And to my ladies, we should stop opening our legs because of the kind of mindset we have that if I open up my legs for this guy, whatever I ask for, he's going to do it for me.
Yes,
Whatever the guy is going to do for you, you can do it for yourself. You got legs, you got hands, two eyes, everything that the guy got. You can work very hard and achieve even more than that. Don't think opening your legs for someone will benefit you more than when you were going to do it for yourself. It's just going to be for the meantime. It wouldn't last for any longer. So the only way to put a stop to this is if you are already a father and you've neglected your kids out there to the mom, kindly just rush back to them. They need you. Don't let them join the streets because they hasn't yet. They are still with the mom, even though they are struggling. But when you go back to them, the burden will be less. No man will take advantage of them. And if you are not yet a father, please don't try. Don't try if you know you can give them the life they want to live. They are not begging you to bring them onto the earth. No unborn child is begging someone to give birth to it. It means you are ready. That's why you are calling them to come. And if you are not, let them be, let them rest. And to my ladies, please, let's just learn how to close our legs. And that's the simplest way. Get
yes,
yourself involved, very busy with work. And if you are busy with work, nothing can ever lead you to do something like that. It's when you don't have the money, it's when you can't buy what you want. That is where you kind of have that mentality of going to men for them to have what they want, to give you what you want. But if you can afford your daily bread, if you can pay your bills, you will. And it's very simple to do. Live according to what you can afford. Don't live beyond it.
yes, that's the
So the
key.
simplest is to cut is very short.
That's the key.
That's the key. Yeah.
Live below your means. You can't afford it, you don't desire it. And let it be something
Mm-hmm.
that think of on a long-term level, not a fad or something that's a
Mm-hmm.
passing fancy. Because, principle lives on forever and fads come
Mm-hmm.
and go. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Long term. And many of us, no matter where we're from, Many of us don't think about the long term. This is the
Mhm.
microwave text message, fax machine, instant gratification society that we're in. We want it now. We want it now. We don't even think incrementally 4 years in advance, at least 4 or 5 years. And if you
Of
could see
course.
yourself in the new reality in 4 or 5 years or 5 years, what are the steps that you're going to have to take to get to that point? Okay, maybe I can't do the
Mhm.
5 year thing in 1 year, but what can I do in the next month that brings me closer to that? But many of us do not think that way. We want it now, and we'll do whatever it takes to get it there. So you mentioned it to the young ladies to keep their legs closed. Understand you're going to avoid a pregnancy that's going to burden things down if you're not ready for it, right? Also, for every unwanted pregnancy that I see, that was an opportunity to get a deadly disease that you can't shake that can kill you. Nobody thinks
Mhm.
about that. And these different men who really they're just into this thing for whatever they can get for now. I mean, that's what it is. It's unbelievable.
Very
Unbelievable.
and it's becoming a national anthem right now. They look at it to be normal. Everybody is doing it. Why
Yeah,
don't I? And they keep repeating, repeating. And the most annoying part is you will see someone struggling with 5 kids, and then you will try to advise them, try not to give birth again. And they will tell you, God will take control, God will take care of it. And at the end of the day, this same person will come to you and beg you, my kid is sick, my child is sick, can you help me? So if I should tell this same person, call your God to take care of it, is it disrespecting?
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You're only repeating back to them what they said. God
Mm-hmm.
also gave you a brain. He gave you the limbs. He gave you the brain to focus, the ability to work
Mm-hmm.
hard. You're focused on the pleasure, but you're not focusing on the responsibility. See,
The
with the pleasure comes
responsibility.
responsibility, but they're not thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
They're laying down anybody
Mm-hmm.
who don't even have a chance of thinking about being with them long term. It's just a pleasure for the moment. And who knows what they're thinking
Mm-hmm.
in their head. It's ridiculous. And it's just getting worse because everybody seems to be tick-toxicated. Not intoxicated, but tick-toxicated. And this short burst of visuals and the comments that come in it, the instant gratification now of feeling so beautiful. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you shake it so nice. Oh, I want to be your
Mm-hmm.
man. Oh, I want to marry you. Oh, can I take care of you? It bombards the pleasure centers of the brain and it warps reality on how they see the world. That I can put on a, not me now, I'm saying the women, that they can put on a tight dress and turn around and shake it, realizing that these men are scrolling through one page or one a photo or one video to the next all day long, and they're
All day
blinded.
long.
Yeah, yeah, that's the bad side of it. There's good sides of social media, like you said, ways of making legitimate money, learning anything you can. You have the greatest tool that is a double-edged sword in your hand as far as a smartphone. You can use it to educate yourself beyond all measure. Everything in the university is there. You can interact with people all over the world. It's a heck of a thing, but we seem to gravitate toward the bad side of it, the things that are going to be destructive to our mind, our body, and our soul, polluting our minds and making us see reality a certain way. People talk about drugs, people talk about crack cocaine. Well, the smartphone is the ultimate crack pipe because whatever your level of decadence or whatever your lustful desires are, you can punch it in and you can find it. And now you think this thing is real and you bring it into your reality, something that's false, a false ideology. And now you face the
Mm-hmm.
consequences. The world goes on shaking their backsides, leading people to slaughter. And then we
That's
have
it.
the hungry children behind it. And now they can't help you. The TikTok can't help you. The Facebook can't help you. Instagram can't help you. What's it going to do for you now? See?
Nothing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, Lance.
Yes. Thank you so much, my sister. And I want to talk to you eventually whenever you're ready, because I know you have a busy schedule, about other things that
Okay.
come across your mind. Anybody else who has seen this presentation now or in the future, leave some comments for our sister, because she can give you a unique perspective that many people across the board don't have. It's well balanced, and it's something that is proper. And I tell you, you're on your way. You're on your way because you're thinking the right way. And success is guaranteed because you're willing to put in the work. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're
And you
welcome.
all right. You take care.
Okay. Bye.
So long. Peace. Now, wait a minute. I thought I was finished, but I'm not. I wanted to read off some points to pretty much, what is the word I'm looking for? I'm so appreciative of our sister for sharing her story of what she saw, going in depth and sharing a little, not cultural stuff to say that this is a culture, but the mentality which is all over the world. I want to read off a few things I jotted down so that folks can have it and can kind of compartmentalize it, make sense of it all, where she did a really good job in doing so. I wanted to say, speak on child neglect. This is a serious and complex issue with far-reaching consequences, right? Far-reaching consequences. We don't really understand that we're affecting the child's life lots of times until they transition. The cycle of child neglect involves a range of interconnected factors, and its effects can be devastating throughout a person's lifetime. Root causes of child neglect. Let's just talk about a few things and then we'll sign off. Poverty. Families living in poverty may struggle to meet basic needs, leading to neglect as parents may be unable to provide adequate food, shelter, and medical care. Substance abuse. Parents struggling with substance abuse may neglect their children's needs due to impaired judgment, focus, and prioritization. 3, mental health issues. Parents with untreated mental health disorders may find it challenging to care for their children effectively. Domestic violence. Environments where domestic violence is present can lead to neglect as parents may be preoccupied with their own safety or be perpetrators of violence. Lack of parental skills. Some parents may lack the knowledge and skills needed to fulfill their child's physical, emotional, and developmental needs. Lifetime effects of child neglect. Physical health issues. Neglected children may suffer from malnutrition, developmental delays, and untreated medical conditions. Emotional and behavioral problems. Neglected children may experience anxiety, depression, aggression, or social withdrawal. Cognitive impairments. Lack of stimulation and support in early childhood can lead to cognitive impairments and learning difficulties. Attachment issues. Neglected children may struggle to form secure attachments with caregivers, impacting their ability to form healthy relationships later on in life. Predatory entities and child trafficking. Exploitation. Neglected children are vulnerable to exploitation by predatory individuals who may take advantage of their lack of supervision and protection. That's why you got to protect your children. Human trafficking. Some neglected children may be targeted by human traffickers, leading to forced labor or sexual exploitation. Mental and emotional issues. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Neglected children may develop PTSD due to the chronic stress and trauma they experience. Attachment disorders. Lack of consistent caregiving can result in attachment disorders affecting the child's ability to form healthy relationships. Diseases and health risks. Malnutrition. Neglected children may face malnutrition, leading to a weakened immune system and susceptibility to various illnesses. Sexually transmitted infections. Those involved in sex work due to exploitation may be at a higher risk of contracting STIs. Addressing child neglect requires a multifaceted approach, including early intervention, support for struggling families, and effective child protection services. It is crucial to raise awareness, provide education and resources, and strengthen social and community support networks to break the cycle of child neglect and protect the well-being of vulnerable children. That's all I have to say, and I almost forgot to say it. And for those who are still here, I'm glad you are. We're going to wrap it up right now. I'm going to go through the long intros. I'll just run my 18-wheeler and we'll be out. Thank you so much for being here. On to the next one, where we speak tomorrow night about the slap of schizophrenia with Dr. Tracy Bond. And make sure to go to drtracybond.com and check her out. A powerful woman. Much love to you all. Take care. On to the next one. Lancescurv out. Peace.